that, but okay, but it's every element of the game. So you're just walking through the game basically. You're walking through the game with a gun, and you're just shooting at targets. It's target practice. I mean, if that's cool, if that's what you're into, but I just think that it's kind of boring. It's kind of like just watching stuff happen. I make no decisions other than like holding the aimer down and firing at targets and then moving to the next checkpoint. Like that to me just seems like not a very fun experience.
Well, to me, I guess I expected it to be linear, so I did have fun with it. It didn't really bother me too much, and I guess it also helped with the scope of the levels, and just the visuals helped out a lot too. I mean, it's so, like I said, the graphics in this game are just so nice. I mean, they're so crisp. I don't mean to describe this game like vegetables or fried food. So crisp, but they were. It's just the attention to detail that went not only in the I guess the modeling and detail of the and textures of the characters, but everything's the clothes and everything seemed to just have a realistic texture to it that I hadn't seen in a game in a long time, except this game with the high production value that it had, and it really helped out with the epic feel of the game that they wanted to convey. And as far as playing the game, I mean, I don't know. I kept dying, and so I don't know if that says something about the level of the game, or it's supposed to be the kind of game where you are supposed to continuously die over and over again. I played on the regular setting, but to me, I have fun with those kind of games where I have such huge opposing odds, and I have to like die and try to figure out, okay, what did I do wrong? Maybe if I try, and this is probably where the open-endedness came in for me, Kevin. It's like, okay, maybe if I run over to this side instead of that side, or run behind and duck under this cover right here instead of doing it and charging in the way I did, I mean, that.
Yeah, but it tells you when you die half the time what you're even supposed to do. It just says, go behind the mining cart or follow the yellow arrow.
Not exactly. I mean, there's
or
certain
Korey, stop sucking.
Yeah, I never got that. That was just a given. But I mean, yeah, those kind of things. There were tasks where they gave you specific instructions. But as far as like how you went into, let's just say you burst into like at the beginning, you burst into Fidel Castro's compound after you try to assassinate him. You have to get out of the building. I mean, there are different routes that you can take. I mean, it's not just one direction. I can go around the balcony and kill everybody and then go down the steps. Or I can immediately go down the steps and try to leave. I mean, it wasn't anything that hindered the game for me that I had to, like, I could just run around and just, cool out and maybe, I don't know, go over here to the bar and hang out for a little while and get back into the action. I didn't, I was okay with that, but I understand what you're saying. It's just a different perspective on the game.
I kind of wanted to hang out in Havana for a little bit. And I was like, do we have to go like right now?
I know.
Because it was such a cool environment.
Yeah, I wanted the mini game where I got to stop, take a breather, and do the limbo or something.
Right. Get yourself some cigars. Hang out on the beach.
Yeah. And plus, it's the locations that really help with the game too. I mean, you go in so many, I guess, exotic locales like. We just mentioned you go to Cuba, and then you go to Russia. You go to all these frozen and snow-ridden areas, and then you go to places like when you go to Vietnam and Laos. I mean, there's the jungle. What I was really impressed with in the Vietnam stages, where I mean, even though it was very linear, it really did feel submersive to me. I mean, I was going in the water and having to go back on land.
I don't think anything tops Chernobyl from one of the previous Modern Warfare game, because that was awesome, spooky, and just a great overall level where you're in a ghillie suit running around the irradiated remains of Chernobyl to kill this guy. You guys remember that one?
Yeah, no, the Infinity Ward guys actually went to Chernobyl and started taking pictures and stuff like that, and that's how they made it look really, really realistic.
Just this spooky ghost town.
Well, yeah. Since you're talking about this, the last one, on Metacritic, user reviews are pretty dismal for this game. It's only got a 6.3, and
on Call of Duty Black Ops?
Black Ops, yeah. And one of the major criticisms is that it feels just like a Modern Warfare 2 expansion pack.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't think
really
so at all. So sorry.
I do. It's so ridiculously short. I mean, I finished it in a day, and that's just
Wow.
how long was a day, man? I mean, like, it's decent. It's a decent length. It's the same length as World at War. I mean, I think this is set in the same world as World at War, and the violence is extreme. Whereas in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 1, it was very very tame. It's like just a few bullet wounds. Whereas this, you shoot someone with a grenade launcher, their legs going to blow off, and guts everywhere and stuff like that. So
The gore was great.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a game
in the tunnels in Vietnam, and you've got that revolver, and you're blasting those guys, and their legs are flying.
Oh, I had a revolver, and I thought and I just shot the guy. Like I shot the guy. Probably I shot him in the hip, and like his arm flew off, and the guy's like I shot him again just to put him out of his misery. So
it was like, God, suddenly I've got this cannon strapped to my arm.
I was like, damn, what kind of bullets am I using in this?
This doomsday weapon to, kill the VC rats in the tunnels.
But Kevin, I do think you have a point. I mean, I was almost afraid to say, and I don't want to criticize the game because I did have fun. I do see what the money went into it, and it did. I mean, I knew the game was going to be kind of short, and that's a complaint of mine with a lot of games with huge budgets. Is that one, they can only make the game so big because of all the money that's going into it, and two, it's tailor-made mainly for multiplayer. That's where you get your replay value.
I agree. Yeah, multiplayer is where it's at.
But for somebody like me I'm not a big multiplayer guy. I keep saying that over and over again. So, but somebody like me who wants to go in and just kind of play the single player campaign and move on to the next game, I have to admit that, this was great. I mean, it was polished to a certain extent, and I had fun just being in the game because of how great it looked. But I don't know, it still wasn't that groundbreaking shooter that it was pitched to me as. I mean, maybe it's because of the hype behind it. I was expecting something truly just innovative and didn't get that. It's a fun game, but it's just a really nice looking, expensive shooter.
Well, it's one of those if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of things where there's really nothing new here. It's just a new iteration on an already successful franchise. So they didn't really do anything new and different. You had mentioned the voice talent. That was pretty damn good. Man,
the money, that's where if anything where this game really excels, it excels in making games more legitimate as they get better actors and better scripts to write dialogue for these characters. I mean, not all the dialogue in this was great, but it's better than the average game out there. It's taken a little more seriously. How many names did you recognize before you actually saw the credits?
Only Ed Harris. That's the only one I knew.
You didn't recognize Ice Cube?
No, the thing is, I think Ice Cube really held back because Ice Cube always, sounds like Ice Cube, with and he was just acting kind of normal.
Well, what you want him to do is, I mean, it's the Vietnam era. What you want?
Well,
dog, man, we gonna go in here and kick some Charlie ass, motherfucker.
Well, he was in NWA, and I'm used to hearing him swear like crazy, like whether he's in Triple X2 or whatever. So
shit, now we got to go in and break him off a little something.
Yeah.
Crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. Maybe he could be singing that.
Well, I tell you, man, I recognized Sam Worthington before I saw the name because
with shit American accent.
Man,
did you guys get that?
Well, it was good. I mean, it was really good. But every now and then he'd slip. And where's he from? Is he
Australia?
Yeah, Australia. That Australian accent would come out every now and then.
Yeah. I mean, like he always does that in his movies. Like his accent will kick in quite a lot. And I think it's more obvious.
Famous? I don't understand.
I don't know. Neither do I.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in the biggest movie of the year. He's in the biggest game of the fucking year. I mean, this guy has he must be
showing up everywhere.
Yeah, he must be blowing his agent or something, man, because this guy is getting some great work. I mean,
Which, speaking of showing up everywhere, zombies. They're like Sam Worthington, zombies, and Starbucks. You can't go anywhere without running into these motherfuckers.
Oh, I know, man. It's like, zombie mode in this was a given, but it's like, damn, they're putting zombies in everything today.
How many games have we reviewed that have zombies in them so far? It's like
all of
it's Dead Rising 2, Undead Nightmare, and was there another one? I mean, apart from this one.
Did Fallout have anything in there? New Vegas?
Well, I guess those desert mutants in the gay cutoff shorts, they're kind of like zombies in a way.
Shit, man. Just coincidence, I guess.
I don't. I think Kevin unlocked the zombie level in Kirby just the other day.
Not Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew zombie and Sonic the Hedgehog has a zombie level coming up. I heard if you just play it hard enough. Yeah. So, it's zombies are the thing. I mean, who played the zombie level in this?
I did. Yeah,
I did. Yeah.
I played it for a little bit, and I was like, yeah, okay, more zombies.
It is weird though that it's like front and center right on the main menu. It's like you're like 4 options to pick from. It's like right there. It's not like you go into multiplayer and then it's like one of the modes or anything. It's like front and center. You can play the regular game or play zombie mode. And it's like all right.
It's like you don't have to unlock it, and they don't care. It's like, hey, zombies make money. You don't have to dig for that shit. Here it is, right here. So now, is that the same? Because after you finish the game, it goes right into the zombie mode with Kennedy and Castro and Nixon and all those guys and McNamara. I mean, is that the same option that you have before you even play the campaign at the beginning?
I didn't see that. I mean, I went in with multiplayer, and maybe in the solo campaign, but I just went right into multiplayer, and I was with other people inside. I didn't know it was the Pentagon. I read that later. I'm inside some kind of dark room, and they're coming through different doors, and you can fix the doors. If you shoot the zombies that are coming through them, you can hold down. I played on the PS3, so you can hold down square, and it starts to put the door back together, and you just keep blasting guys and stuff. And there's something else going on with the electricity in the room and stuff, but I didn't play it that long to really figure out what that part was all about.
I played it. I had some fun.
There's not much to it. It's just it's a really simple siege environment.
Yeah.
It's just your typical board of the windows, zombies are coming. Okay, more zombies, board of the windows.
Right.
It's just really distilled gameplay. It's classic. It's great. I just wish it wasn't zombies. I wish werewolves or witnesses.
Yeah.
I don't care. Make it homeless. Make a bunch of killer hobos.
Killer hobo.
We don't have enough zombie games, mate. I'm fine with that.
I love.
You guys played the Nazi zombie mode?
What, in this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one that you have available before you? Like I said at the beginning, but right when you open up the game, you put the game in. You have options at the beginning. You have single player, multiplayer, and then you have zombies. Is that what's the zombie level like before you even play the game? Before you play the campaign?
Well, it's got nothing to do with it. There's just really 2, if you could say, stories. One is the one involving, Nixon and Kennedy at the Pentagon in the 60s, and the other one is this crazy German scientist, I think is a character in the single player campaign, goes back in time by accident, and he's fighting Nazi zombies.
Okay.
And he needs to get back to the future.
Jesus, they just getting crazy with this shit. I like zombies myself, so I'm cool with zombies, and I played the zombie level in this with Kennedy and all those guys, and had fun. I mean, it's
pretty fun.
It is fun. I mean, it does feel like an afterthought, but it feels like a fun afterthought. I mean,
it's fun when you unlock the world leaders part to play as them, and you're playing as JFK, and he's talking shit to the undead while he's fighting them. In exaggerated John F. Kennedy voice. It's just goofy.
I love the way you have to pay certain you have to pay money to I guess either build doors or unlock doors or something. And when Kennedy goes up there and he doesn't have enough money, he goes all right, come on, I'm good for it. So they don't give a shit. So. You didn't like the zombie mode too much. You're just getting tired of zombies. Jason's at the point where he's like, "Fuck it, I'll take glittering vampires at this point right now."
Oh my God, that would be so much more fun if you're shooting a bunch of Twilight vampires. No, Twilight fans. That's what it is.
It's a bunch of little girls you're shooting.
Yes.
And they just don't stop.
I want a video game where you can just mercilessly kill the oncoming hordes of Twilight fans who are trying to say that the Wolfman ripped off Twilight and who have never heard of Bela Lugosi. I want a game where I'm shooting all of them in the head.
There's a free ticket on the table behind you for the next Twilight movie, and you have to fight off a bunch of fucking girls before they get to it, which would be the same as fighting off zombies. Did anybody play the multiplayer in this?
Yes.
That's the biggest part of the game, really. I mean, we can talk about how the single-player campaign played and whether we liked it or not, but the multiplayer is the real strength of this game, and that's why people get it. And like I said, it's the thing that adds to the longevity of the game. So I didn't play it. Anybody else play it?
Very briefly.
Yeah, it is extraordinarily robust. There are so many different gameplay modes and options for upgrading your character, unlocking things where you can customize what type of class you want to play, different weapons. It's what you're used to with Call of Duty or Modern Warfare as far as unlocking all of that, but it seems like there's even more things you can unlock, new maps. There's almost too much there. You can get lost in it. After a while, I just thought, hell, I don't know what to pick.
And this one uses a system of you have to buy items, right?
You've got two different things. You earn, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, you can earn XP to unlock stuff, or Call of Duty points, which basically function as money, and you can buy stuff that way. And you can also wager it against other players, so you can like place bets and so forth, which I think is a really cool idea.
Yeah, and a lot of the choices that you make when you buy things, you got to make sure that you want it, because if you get it and you're stuck with it. It's not,
right.
Yeah. When I was playing the zombie mode in this, and we were talking about this before we started, I was like, this is fun, but I gotta admit, I'm feeling a little bit weird playing as Kennedy, because it was such a tragedy, just about 40 some odd years ago, and now it's like we're making fun of the guy. We got him in a game fighting off zombies, talking shit, and I'm just like, do we just have a short attention span, or do we just not give a fuck as long as it's fun?
Oh, like multiplayer history, is anything sacred?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
man, enough time has passed. I think.
Yeah. Unless you were there, Korey. How old are you again, man? I don't,
Okay, you got me. I shot Kennedy, okay?
Right.
That's why I'm just not feeling guilty about it.
I'm fine,
Jason,
but...
did you try out the theater mode in the multiplayer?
No, I didn't. I don't want to see me getting my ass handed to me over over and over.
You see, I'm not a really big fan of multiplayer, but I thought that was really cool because, there were some times when I did some really funny deaths, and I liked to rewind and play it again in slow motion, just laugh at myself and other people doing stupid shit. So
yeah, I'm embarrassed enough just playing it because I'm getting my ass handed to me so many times. I don't need to relive it. It's like, hey, remember that time when you let that guy sneak up on you and knife you? Well, here it is again. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, well, I might as well just videotape myself getting mugged and come back home and watch it over and over again.
Did any of you guys experience any bugs or problems? That seems like on the PC side, which I didn't play, of course. That seems like a huge issue.
Kevin, that's a good point, because it seems like bugs in games are just becoming so common now that people are accepting it. People aren't really fighting or complaining about it. Only in cases such as Fallout New Vegas, where it just pretty much stops the game and you lose everything. Is it a big issue? But I mean, think about it. What other medium can you have a multi-million-dollar launch like this and release a game that still is kind of unfinished? I mean, think about watching something like Avatar and seeing one of the extras in just plain clothes walking by in the background, and nobody edited it out. Guy just walking by eating a sandwich, and they just left it in the movie, and people just go, well, I'm going to go see it anyway. Big deal. In games like this, it's just like bugs are there, but people just live through.
It was not really that bad with the bugs. I mean, the only bugs I experienced were hilarious. So I kind of enjoy them. Yeah, if it's something like Fallout, then I'm like, fuck you, because hyping this game up and spending all this money and it's not even finished.
Oh, the bugs that I had, man. I mean, I ran into the only bugs that I complain about are the bugs that stop me from playing the game. And early on in the game, I only read one review where somebody said I ran into a bug where it made me start the level over. And I can only imagine that I had the same experience because it was in the same level. It's at the level where you have to get out of Castro's mansion or house, compound, whatever. And there's a part where, I go looking for something else, and I was like, they're going to wait on me. I'll go back out. The game ain't going to do anything. It has no choice but to wait on me. And then I got to the door where I'm supposed to leave, and the game was like, You waited too long, and they had a big, it's just like you thought you could get now you want to go out, and it had like a big rock in the middle, and I could not leave the game to save my life. I tried looking for windows and everything. I was trying to kick shit open. I was trying to climb shit. I couldn't leave.
One of those things where like your Xbox is haunted. You see those little videos and shit like that on the internet with people hoaxing, like, oh, it's the haunted Ocarina of Time or whatever for Zelda. Maybe that's you, and it's like every time you turn on your Xbox, you're going to be stuck in that room.
Well, no, I'll deal what you have to do in any situation like that. I had to cut the game off, start over, and pretty much start at the beginning of that level again. So those kind of bugs irritate me. I only experienced one like that. Other than that, I didn't experience too much. There was one bug where a guy kept shooting at his car or at a car. It was like he was shooting at somebody, but he was trying his best to shoot to that fucking car. He wouldn't look over or to the side. He's like, I'm gonna blow this car up right now, and he just kept doing that. And then there were other things like one guy I killed. He fell to the ground and just disappeared. It's just gone. and there was some levels where there's always like a shoe. There was always a shoe hanging out of somewhere, a shoe coming out of a wall or coming from the ground.
Oh yeah. There was some weird stuff like that where you kill someone and they would fall through the texture or something like that.
Yeah, but it was never for me. It was never a hand or never a head. It was always a shoe. It was always a one boot.
Right.
But you said you had Nick. You had a funny one.
I was on the snow level, and it's the moments where you're supposed to be all stealthy and you're sniping people, whatever. So, and there's two guys and they're shoveling snow out of a driveway or something, and I killed both of them with my crossbow, and they fall dead, But one of the shovels carries on digging the snow out, like it just carries on by itself, like his ghost refuses to pass on to the afterlife until it's finished his job. So.
and I know what level you're talking about. And you know what, Nick? When you told me about that, I tried to make it happen. Like I started the game over like about 3 times to see if I could like get the ghost shovel, but it never worked. You had a funny one, Jason.
Yeah, it wasn't funny.
For me, it is.
Yeah, So part of the game is I don't want to spoil anything like that, so I'll skirt around that. But at one point you're in a helicopter and you're fighting off these other 2 helicopters, and the whole "we're gonna crash" alarm comes on. It's like smoke was filling the cabin and everything, and so I ended up beating the other helicopters, and I landed the helicopter. And that noise is still going. I'm like, God, I can't wait to get out of this fucking helicopter so I don't have to hear that noise. So I run and I'm going through the jungle. That noise lasts for the rest of the damn level. I'm like in these caves, miles away from the helicopter. I can still hear it. So I finally just walked up to a guy and let him shoot me. Kill me. Put me it was like getting an ice pick driven into the back of my skull. So I was like, okay, maybe if it reboots, it'll do that. Nope. Right when I start that level up again, I'm still miles away from this helicopter. So I turned off my Xbox, reloaded, back to that level. I was just like, Jesus.
Yeah, bitch. Now who has the haunted Xbox?
Yeah,
that shit haunted you through the rest of the game.
That would be pretty good in theater mode, though, to see you like all hiding from the guys and then just suddenly stand up and walk out to get shot because you just gave up.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't take it anymore. Post-traumatic stress disorder.
You see Jason and his Xbox fall out of a 5-story window together. He's fighting it, trying to make it shut up.
Stop it. Stop it.
But, those kind of bugs, they're funny. Like I said, I can deal with that kind of stuff if it doesn't, like, ruin the game for you or make you start over all the time, which I guess it did for you, Jason. But
I had to mute it because my dogs were running into the room going, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, the dogs up there. It's just,
yeah.
The dogs are looking at your Xbox. What do you want, master?
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know what? I forgot to mention. You know who else has a voice in this game? That was rumored, but I guess it's been confirmed. Gary Oldman.
Oh, yeah, he's Reznov.
Yeah, yeah. Ed Harris is in the game. Yeah, it's the money's in the game. I mean, it's there. So,
Gary Oldman was also World at War, so it's nice to see him carry on the character. So.
Yeah, that character was in World of War, right? I mean, and he makes an appearance in this. Interesting how they bring him back.
Yeah. Well, I never did catch on that was Ice Cube. I didn't
really?
Know that. Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't rapping, so
yeah.
I really think they should have had just a little subtle reference in there for the whiteys. Maybe he could say, oh, fuck the VC, fuck.
Jason was sitting up there thinking, is that Denzel Washington? Is that President Obama? All these black guys.
You know what Ice Cube should have said. When you're in the tunnels. When you're in the tunnels killing the VC, he should have said, I remember, fuck the VC coming straight from the underground. I'll catch you later. I was like, oh, God.
Yes, Nick, that's exactly what they should have said. But anyway,
Oi.
Nick, we love you, man. We keep telling you that. We just have
to... The hell with that. You're getting Nick in there to write this.
I know, yeah. It's to spice up the dialogue.
Then I would have known it was Ice Cube,
So, overall... after all is said and done, I mean, we have fun with the game, whether it was intentional fun or unintentional fun, and then some of us didn't like the structure of the game. So I'm curious to see what everybody would have done for this, or what they would have paid for it. Kevin, I guess we went through our ratings again the other day, and I think it came down to, I don't know what it was. Shit, it's so hard to rate video games. It was like better than sex, full price, bargain bin, which... I don't know. That could be anything.
Before we do the review, the ratings, did you guys want to talk about the controversy towards the Second World War mission?
What controversy was that?
There's controversy because when the Russians are, it's set like there's one flashback set during World War II. It's at the end of the war after Berlin fell, and you're attacking this place where the last outpost of Nazis are, and all the Nazis are surrendering and lowering the weapons down, and you're just shooting the shit out of them. And you're not taking any prisoners, and they're showing executions and stuff like that.
Oh, you know what? There's all these controversies surrounding the game, and I don't think it's going to even matter. I mean, this is not going to be a Medal of Honor situation where the controversy is going to make the game cave. The game's already out, and it's going to pass. It's controversy from everything from there's scenes of torture where you're beating a guy in a chair, and it's done from your perspective, and then there's another scene where you're casually just walking by these prisoners of war, and there's a guy who's assassinating them, putting a bullet in their heads.
Yeah, but do you think that's a poor taste, or
no?
No.
What the hell did they want him to do? It's like, oh, they surrendered. It's just a misunderstanding. Let's all go have some tea.
Again, man, if it was a movie, you're not even doing the execution style killings. It's in the background. Had this been a movie, nobody would have said shit. Okay, and then in Cuba, they have their government, the controlled part of the internet coming out and saying that they don't like the way Fidel Castro was portrayed in the movie. And they even bragged. They were like, right, you try to kill Fidel Castro. They've tried to kill this man 600 times. You think a video game's going to kill him? It's like, it's crazy shit happening with that. And in Cuba, they've even gone as far as to call us like anybody who's into these games are going to turn to sociopaths and are violent in nature. So it's the same fucking argument.
As opposed to being all peaceful like Castro's regime has been.
yeah, we just play games over here. What do y'all fucking do over there? But I mean, it's the same controversies you hear with everything, man. And like I say, I always go back to, if this had been a movie, would there be that much controversy? And I have to draw a comparison to some movies that I've seen where critics are fine with it. Hey, it's lovable, this character. Take, for example, the movie Red that just came out with Bruce Willis and Morgan Freeman and all those guys. Carl Urban in the movie. There's a scene in the movie where at the beginning he's torturing a guy and killing a guy. And later on in the movie, oh, he's good. He's okay. He's a good guy. You don't hear anybody complain about how are people going to be, and it's the movie is rated R, but you don't hear people saying, how is this going to affect the mentality of people who watch this, relating to a guy who's good, who was just torturing people an hour ago. Nobody says that shit. Fuck it, man. That's what I say right now. You will know when a game gets out of line. Believe me, I'll be the first to say it. But right now, I think people, it's what we've always said. The people who are complaining are the people who don't know video games. It's new to them. It scares them. Fuck yourself. So.
Well, yeah, and wait, Korey, you're saying that now, but wait till you play the Rosa Parks video game, that the expansion that's coming out.
Oh, I'm waiting for them to do the next Call of Duty with the Martin Luther King zombie in it. You know,
Right.
I have a dream of biting a chunk out your ass. But yeah, you know, man, I like the game. I don't, you know, if I had paid for this game, I don't know. I like the spectacle of it. I don't. $60 is a lot to ask for a game that lasts about 5 or 6, 8 hours, but I enjoyed it. It looks good. I'll probably pull out again, play it. So I don't mind saying full price for it.
I would actually say bargain bin because I've just played so many other things like it, and I'm sick of on the multiplayer getting blown up by remote controlled cars. So it's like I'm fighting Inspector Gadget. I would say bargain bin. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's worth the $60. I'd pay like 30 for it or something, you know, when the price comes down. But,
And you know what? You're right. Let me put it this way. I myself, if I was paying for this, maybe bargain bin just seemed too steep for me. If I could just like shave $20 off the game and play like 30, $40 for it, I think I'd be okay. So yeah, I'm more of a half price bargain guy for this. Wait a little while, but for people who play multiplayer, you say from what I've read, I haven't played it, but it seems like it's giving them a lot more value than probably some of the previous games. So maybe for them it would be a full price.
Oh yeah, they put just as much, if not more, effort into the multiplayer than they did with the other there.
Yeah, Nick.
I'd give it full price. I absolutely love the franchise of these games, and like you were saying before, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And I'm glad that they didn't in this, and I think that they really went ahead with the type of storytelling that they haven't been doing before, that they put forward with this. So I absolutely enjoyed it and loved it. So full price.
Somebody wake Kevin up. Kevin, you there?
I think we lost him.
Oh, I guess we did lose him. Oh, you know what? we did lose Kevin. I was wondering why he was so quiet. Kevin just said fuck it and just got the hell out. So I'm sure it was something happened. Like
I think it was your Martin Luther King zombie thing that offended him.
why I never. Good black folk like me don't appreciate that. So anyway, Kevin didn't even play the whole game, so I'm sure the way he was complaining would have been like, fuck this game. So anyway, that's it. Until next time, y'all. This has been another episode of the Loading Bar.
The loading bar. Cheers.
See ya.
Good night.
Cheers.
No, I'm joking.
No.
We live in a world where everything you know is wrong.